Okay, now looking at this, since I finished that last tutorial, I decided I want to make one more change to this car. It's still just a little too normal. I want it to have a slightly more aggressive look. So let's take everything that belongs to the car, meaning the car and the two sets of flames, and combine them into their own smart object. So I've picked my car layer, I've turned off and on a couple layers to make sure I know what they are, held Command and clicked on them to also select them, and then right click and choose Smart Object, convert to Smart Object. And then hit Command T, and I'm going to try just holding down Command and moving this top right up just a little bit. Oh, I think that looks so much better. Makes it look like it's popping out of the image more. So I'm going to grab that and the layer that has my shadow on it, and together move them over just a tiny bit to recenter it in front of those words just a little bit better. Okay, so now that we have our final graphics for this image, we need to put this over on our billboard. Now the billboard is still this other file over here, and yours looks like this. I'll save the file so that it's a grayscale billboard. And we need to move all of those layers over to this file. So on the document we've been working on, unfortunately, grabbing everything all at once and moving it like we did before won't work. I wish Photoshop would fix this. Hopefully they will in the future. So we actually need to have these transferred a slightly different way. So what you can do is grab the tab for this file and click and drag it to tear it away from the others. And it will pop so that it looks like this. It's got a different look. This is the way Photoshop used to set up its canvases as a separate individual windows. You can still actually set it to automatically do that if you go to your Photoshop and Preferences, choose General, File Handling. Nope. Interface? Yep. In Interface, there's one that says Open Documents as Tabs. If you would prefer to work with your windows as loose floating individual ones and have them open that way in the first place, you can come in here to Preferences and uncheck this Open Documents as Tabs box. So back here, now we need to grab all of our layers, starting with the background up to the top, and then click and drag them over to this new image. And there they all are. So everything looks good, nothing's hanging out over the edge. Let's turn this into its own smart object by right-clicking and choosing Convert to Smart Object. We need to line it up with the corners of that billboard. Right now we can't even see the corners of the billboard, so let's change the opacity on this layer to something a little less than 100%. And then hit Command T to transform. And just like we did with the box exercise, just grab those individual corners and move them in to fit right over that billboard. And I'm going to do this kind of rough first. And now that they're placed, I'm going to hit Enter and change my opacity back to 100%, and then zoom in on these corners, Command T again, and just transform a little bit. Now you see how this doesn't quite match up to the edge of the green? The reason is that one of these layers is actually hanging out a little bit over the edge, but I can't see which one it is. I suspect it's the shadow, so I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm just going to visually line up that green with the bottom corner and then do the same over here. And remember, I'm holding down Command while I move those little corner dots. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. And there is our file. That's actually all we need. So this is the one that you're going to save as your Photoshop file. So save it as, I believe it's A11 for week 11 assignment. And the reason you don't need to save the other one as a Photoshop file is it's already in here. If we double click on this thumbnail of this layer, there it is. Everything that we just did in that other on that other canvas is right there. We haven't lost any information. So to close out of this window, just hit Command S and then Command W and save this as a PSD, save it as a JPEG, and upload both of them to the Turn-In on Canvas.